So you have learned about sine rule. In sine rule, you learn how to find the angle as well as length of any triangle. However, there are times where you do not have any opposite angles or any opposite sides. So you cannot do the pairing of the sine rule. And this is where what we are going to learn today, which is cosine rule, will be useful. What do I mean by that? So let's say we have a triangle. We are given x, y, z, but we are not given any angle. So we cannot use sine rule. So instead, if you want to find any of the angle, we have to use cosine rule. Or in cases whereby, let's say I have a triangle, then I'm given x, y, as well as the angle z degree. Again, I do not have any angle to pair with y, nor any angle to pair with x, or a length to pair with z. So I also cannot use sine rule down here, which is why we have to rely on cosine rule. So copy down today's objective. Today, I will learn how to use cosine rule to find the side and angle in a triangle. And the key for today, this one is our cosine rule. Okay, this one is cosine rule, which is a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared. This one will look familiar to you, is Pythagoras theorem. Minus away 2 times b times c times cosine a. Now, you might think that this is difficult to memorize. Never mind, it will be given during exam. And like what I said, you use cosine rule when you can't use sine rule. And what are the situations where you cannot use sine rule? I have mentioned it down here. In this situation, where you are not given any angle, or in this situation, where you are not given any angle or side that you can pair them up with. So this is the time where we use cosine rule. So copy this down. So let us start. So what does cosine rule means? Cosine rule means you take the square of A, which is equal to the square of B plus the square of C, minus away 2 times B times C times the cosine of A. But to be honest, if you do not understand what this means, doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, as long as you can apply it, you will be alright. So when do we use it? We use it in two situations. The first situation is whereby we have a triangle and we are given the length of two sides as well as the included angle. Or in the case of a triangle where we are given three sides. So these are the two situations whereby we use cosine rule, because in these two situations, as I have mentioned in the first slide, we cannot use sine rule. So let us try out this question. Find the length of x as well as theta. So very simple, we just apply the formula. Angle A down here is the included angle. So this one is the included angle. Included angle. So which included angle is this? Because actually all the angles, they can be considered included angle. But what are the sides that make up this angle? They are B as well as C. That means the side where the angles are given. So in this case, we are given angle 80 degree as well as the length of 5 and 7. So how do we go about doing this? Very simple. We just let 5 or 7 be B or C. then x will be A. Okay, so this one let us be A because it's opposite the included angle. So A is the opposite side of included angle. Alright. And to be honest, most of the time, if it's this type of question, you only have one angle, so don't worry too much. It is not difficult to identify the only angle that they give you. Okay, so x squared, because this is x, okay, x squared is equals to b squared. So either we take 5 or 7, it doesn't matter. 5 square plus c, which is 7 square, minus 2 times 5 times 7 times cosine 80 degree. So you will get x squared is equals to 5 square plus 7 square minus away 2 times 5 times 7 times cosine 80, and you will get 61.845, and this is to 5 significant figure. Why I put it in 5 significant figure? Because this is not my final answer. When we are doing our working that is in between our final answer, we leave them as 5 significant figure. Now, an easy way out is actually, you don't have to write this. You just bring the square over, then you square root the whole thing. But never mind, I don't want to skip step right now. So, very simple. You just bring the square over. What is the opposite of square? The opposite of square is square root. So you square root the whole thing. 61.845. Now, just take note, even though I write 61.845, as far as possible, use the answer in calculator. So when you get this answer, you should be able to use answer. So you just square root the answer, and you should get 7.86 cm. And this is in 3SF. Now, let's try to find angle theta. So to find angle theta, let us just label 7.86 for x. Let me just change the color. Let me just change to blue. Alright. So to find theta, we can just simply use sine rule because we have a pair of opposite angle and side. So since we want to find theta, we put theta down here. And remember, you need to sine the angle because we are using sine rule. Okay, sine rule. So we are using sine rule down here. What we learned in the previous video. So sine theta, what's the opposite side? The opposite side is 5. Is equal to sine, the only angle you have here is 80 over 7.8641. Okay, in my calculation, I use 5 SF. But to be honest, I don't just use 5 significant figure. I actually use the value that I got from the calculator. So very simple. Sine theta will be equals to 5 times sine 80 over 7.8641. Because divide, move over becomes times. Okay, let me just write it properly for you. So this one, the whole thing, is equals to sine theta. Alright. Okay, and to find theta, we have to bring the sine over. So theta will be equals to sine inverse, bracket the whole thing, 5 times sine 80 over 7.8641. Alright, and you will get your answer. So 5 times sine 80 divided by 7.8641 is equals to this. Then you inverse sine and you will get 38.8. This is degree. Alright. So this will be your answer. So what we learned today is cosine rule. And this is what we learned in the last video, which is sine rule. So copy this down. And now that you have finished copy down, let's try out these two questions on your own. So the first question and the second question is the same. You're supposed to find x as well as the angle theta. So please pause this video and try it out. And if you need to check your answer, the answer is down here. The steps is the same as the example that was given. So this is the first scenario where you use cosine rule. And this is when you are given two sides and their included angle. So next, we look at the other situation where you need to use cosine rule. In this question, you are given the length of three sides of a triangle. Then you need to find the theta as well as area of this triangle. So what we have to do is A, right, is actually theta down here. A is actually theta down here. Then the important thing to figure out is what is A square. Alright, A square is the opposite side. A square is the opposite side of the included angle. So included angle is theta. The side opposite theta is 16. So A square is 16. Then we are all set to go. So we have 16 square is equals to B and C, you let it to be 10 or 11, it doesn't matter. Alright? 10 square plus 11 square minus 2 times 10 times 11 times cosine theta. Alright? 16 square is equals to 256, which is equals to 10 square plus 11 square, which is 221, minus away 2 times 10 times 11, which is 220 cosine theta. Okay, now you might feel a bit stuck, but never mind. It's actually not difficult. So what we want to do is we move things over. So what we have to do is to move the term over. So this is actually 221, positive 221. So when positive 221, we move over, it becomes, alright, so when plus 221, we move over, it will become negative 221. So 256 minus 221 is equals to 220 cosine theta. Alright? So 256 minus 221 will give me 35, which is equals to 220 cosine theta. So now we have to move the 220 over, but now 220 is times. Times you move over, it will become divide. So I will get 35 over 220 is equals to cosine theta. Next is very simple. This one we learned before. We want to find theta, so we bring the cosine over. So it will become cosine inverse 35 over 220, and I'll get 80.8. This one will be in degree. Alright? And this is 1 decimal place, because for degree we normally put them as 1 decimal place. Next, we want to find the area of the triangle. So area of the triangle, let me use another color. So we found theta already. Next we find area of the triangle. So area of the triangle, we learn half AB sine C. Now that we have theta, which is 80.8 degree, we can simply area of triangle, remember 2 lessons ago, is equals to half AB sine C. So which is equals to half times AB, which is 10, times 11 times sine 80.8 degree. Now just take note, even though I write here as 3 significant figure or 1 decimal place, you should use the value inside your calculator rather than this. Alright, the answer that you got. And this will give me 5 times 11 times sine and I will get 54.3 cm squared. And this is to 3 significant figure. And this will be my answer. So just apply what we have learned earlier. The A as well as B is here. Then just sine the included angle. So please copy down this example because you will need it to try out these 2 questions. Very simple. You are given 3 sides. Find the theta as well as area of the triangle. Pause the video, try it out. And if you need some hint, these are the answers for you to check. And this will be all for the whole of Trigo chapter.